Well, the P38 has returned and it's running, and my window opens, so we should have everything functioning. Okay, so let's just recap on what's been done. If you remember before, maybe you remember before, I had all the ABS lights on, the traction control lights. I had no driver's window that opened. It wouldn't start on the key. I had to use a starter button that I put in, and then eventually it wouldn't start at all. Well, now it does. I was having trouble with the air suspension. That wasn't working properly, whereas now that all works. Let's see, we're going down. We're down, and then we go all the way up again. Might take some time, so I've just started it, but yes, it's working. So I'd sent it off to, I'd sent it off to James, the P38 specialist. Oh look, I'm advertising Vauxhall. Haven't used Vauxhall for years. Yes, I sent it off to a P38 specialist. Now, I don't proclaim to be a specialist in anything, especially not P38 electrics. So I went to him weeks ago now, I can't remember how long. I just said to him, look, it's no good to me sat here not moving. Have a look when you get time, see what you find. Obviously he's a breaker as well as a workshop, so he has loads of these sitting around so he can try bits, whereas I would have to keep buying bits to try to see if it worked, etc. So I thought, do you know what, pay the man the money, take it, fix it, try bits, then I only have to buy the bits that it needs. So anyway, it went to him. Within the first day, he'd got it running again. He'd found that the body control module wasn't getting a main power feed, which is why, or to one of the fuses, you know, one of the power supplies, whatever, wasn't getting power. So therefore it wasn't starting up the BECM, and therefore wasn't starting the car. So then he had to find out, well, why isn't it getting power? And as it turns out, he found 12 broken wires in the loom down on the driver's sill, underneath the driver's sill. So with that working, he then managed to get things working like the driver's window is working. Obviously before I changed the motor, I changed the ECU, it was getting power there, but whatever reason it wasn't working. So now they're all connected up, it works. He found, because of the dodgy wiring, a BCM had faults, so we've got a new BCM, hence why the mileage, oh, you're looking at me, not the car, the mileage has jumped 20 odd thousand miles, but we can obviously make a note of that. He's given me my old one back so I can have that repaired, and obviously put back in, and then the mileage will be correct. But I'm going to use this until it dies now, so I'm not too worried about the mileage. I'll keep a note of it, of what it is now, and obviously what it was when it went, so I can see the difference. Yeah, so now the air suspension all works properly. It used to take an age, well, it's now done. I also had the fault, I keep showing you, thinking that you're going to see it, but you're not, you're just looking at me. The gear selector wouldn't show neutral. It would go park, reverse, drive. Even though it was in neutral, it would think it was in either drive or reverse on the display, but obviously the gearbox wasn't in because it's mechanically selected. That turned out to be the XYZ switch, so I know you're not going to see this, but I should now, yes. So I've got low range, high range, I've got descent, I've got all the malarkey that I should have, so that's all now working. So we can use four-wheel drive. Oh, shouting at me. There you go. So I can use four-wheel drive, lock diffs, etc., where I couldn't before. As I say, the key now starts the ignition. I haven't got to use the switch, so I think he said he pulled all that out, but I will check the wiring. I'll remove that. Other than that, I think we're done. There was you know, with all the issues I've had with it, it's now fully working. The only thing is the screens have, again, got to show you the screens, you're looking at me. The HVAC screen and the mileage screen is really dim. I know when I've left it parked for ages before, the HVAC screen disappeared, and then once you start using it, it warms up and everything gets used again, it's fine. But I think I haven't had it for about 2 months, 8 weeks. So it's been sat there for all that time, not turning a wheel. So we just need to use it now, make sure everything's good. I've got over half a tank of diesel, which is champion. Didn't even know that was in here. So yeah, perfect. We've got a working tow car back again. I can't tell you how relieved I am to not have to borrow vehicles or dread using the Defender to tow with. It's home, hallelujah. Right, it's been running an hour now, and you can probably hear that horrible noise. I've turned the stereo on. I've got some kind of interference noise. I don't know why. If I disconnect the stereo from the power, or just take the faceplate off, should I say, or just turn it off, it goes. Put it back on, we get the noise. Now, it was on the front speaker. I can only hear it in the back now. So I don't know whether it's, maybe it's going to get better over time, I don't know. But the stereo still works. I don't think I can, no. Playing the music stops the recording. So yeah, I don't know. I wonder if I can put the radio on.
With Claudia Winkleman, watch on BBC iPlayer. Now, a man you can trust, Richie Anderson.
Yeah, see? So oh, there you go, turn it off and I've got the noise gone. But as I say, a minute ago, it was right at the front. Now it's moved to the back. So I don't know. Maybe over time it will disappear, otherwise I'm gonna have to look. I haven't got the amp in the boot because I removed all that and put the sub in. But this has probably got, from speaking to James who had it before, he said they've got little amps in the doors. But now it's moved away from the front door, I'm not sure it's that. I've had the head unit out. I've unplugged all the speakers. Still get the noise. Unplug the power to the head unit, lose the noise. I've changed the head unit, does exactly the same. All plugged in and on, got the noise. Unplugged the speakers, still got the noise in the speakers. So it's obviously an electrical interference somewhere. So I don't know, which is bloody annoying because everything else is working. Anyway, I need to use it now and make sure it's all good. Right, a couple of things to do before the P38 goes back on the road in January. The dash binnacle, the clocks, there's a couple of bulbs out on that, so we need to remove those. I'll show you what to do. The HVAC unit, again, doesn't illuminate at night. And we've got to sort out that awful stereo whine. So first things first, I'm going to pull the stereo, pull the dash out so I can get to the HVAC, and we'll check what bulbs we need for that. Unplug that blue plug and pull off the handbrake off the shaft. Gonna need to hoover this lot out. Right, so you've got one screw here, and the same the other side to pull it out. So I'll quickly do those. Unplug these 4 plugs, and then we should be free to look at the bulbs. And there we go. We need to change these 2 underneath because they're the ones that aren't working. I'm sure the top one's all right from memory, or the top one. What's that one? That is the buttons over there. I'm sure they're all right, but I'll probably whip them all out and change them all while it's out. Right, let's take them out. Okay, so dash clocks are back in, and as you can see, we have illumination on the lights. I don't know if I can turn the flash off, but basically, before I couldn't read the display, but now I can, so that's good. Right, so next we are here. I haven't put the HVAC unit or anything back in yet because I'm now going to try and work out what the noise is on the stereo. So I will have a little play and come back. Right, so a bit Heath Robinson. I've got power, but I've done a separate power supply to my battery charger. So I've got 12 volts and I've just got a normal ISO plug, cut the wires off and joined it. So Earth and Live, it's on. We've got the speakers plugged in. We're getting no sound. We're getting no interference either though. So that tells me, obviously, there is an external amp and we need to suss out what wires are what. So I will now have a go at working out what is what and plugging bits in and out as I go to see what it is. But it sounds to me like it's going to be the amplified speakers. So we might have to rewire them all or replace the amp. So hang on a minute, I'll come back in a second once I've found out some more. Right, so I've made another Heath Robinson thing, just as a test, and yes, I'll get power without any problems at all, with no noise, until I plug in the remote lead that goes to the car's internal amp. Then I get noise. So that's going to be our problem. So I'm going to put all this back together, cut the grey wire which goes to the amp, so we've got power, etc. And then I can trace that wire to find out where it goes and go from there. Okay, right, so we have split both the grey wires. What they actually are is left and right. So with one plugged into the one cable, which is left, we get full range sound. It powers the sub in the boot and no noise. As soon as we plug the other one in for the driver's side, we get the noise. So it is obviously driver's side front amp. So I'm going to put all this back together. I'm going to leave that disconnected, but just tape it up together, and then put all this back together, and then we can start taking the door off and having a look in there. Ignition on. We've got all lights. We've got all lights. Oh, turn it down. And we've got all lights, so they all light up, which is great, which we never had before. So that's that. So now we've got to start on the driver's door card and see if we can find out what is causing the noise. Right, I've just locked everything up to go home and forgot to do the video on this. I had the door card off. Everything seems all right there. Unplugged the amp in the driver's door. Still got the noise. Put it all back together. Didn't get the noise in the driver's door, but I did in the rear driver's door, sorry. Took the door card off that, unplugged the little amp in there, gone, no noise. So I thought, brilliant, it's that amp. So I left it unplugged, put it all back together, got back in the car, the noise was there. It's now coming and going. It's not on all the time, it's on some of the time. So I still don't know whether it is driver's door, as in the main outstation post that then feeds various bits, whether it's that amp still playing up and feeding this amp. I don't quite know how the wiring works. I think what I need to do is pop to James's, who fixed it all, and borrow, while I'm there, one of each thing and plug it in and see if it makes any difference. So it's all back together for now. The rear door amp is unplugged because it's better. So we'll have to go with that for now. So another option I've got with this, and that hideous stereo noise, is to maybe put a set of three-way components in the front, and put another amp in, and then I can run them all separately off the amp. So that's another option. Whether I do that or whether I try the other boxes first, I don't know. Probably best to try the other boxes, it'd probably be cheaper. But that is another option for it. But anyway, it is end of December now. Well, third quarter of December, just before Christmas. So we're shutting down for the Christmas period. So I'll leave this in here till January, because I'm not going to tax it till January.
and then I'll start using it. So I'll end this one here. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share. If this goes out before Christmas, Merry Christmas. Otherwise, I hope you had a good Christmas. I'll see you in the next one.